Hello again, my name's Gabe Zollner. Well, caught a little bit of Fox News, and the talking heads were talking about the peaceful march that took place in New York. And what's interesting is what the marchers were chanting in unison. And what they were chanting is, "What do we want? We want dead cops. When do we want them? We want them now." And how insane is this? I mean, I understand freedom of speech and the First Amendment, but how insane is this that these people are chanting, "What do we want? We want dead cops. When do we want? We want it now." What do you think would happen if we didn't have police? One of the talking heads last week said if the police didn't go to work for one day in New York, New York would cease to exist. How can people be allowed to say what they're saying? When what it's doing, it's further inciting people to riot. And this all happened because a police officer in Ferguson, Missouri was trying to protect his own life from a gangbanger that was charging him, fueled by the lies that Dorian Johnson keeps spewing. What have I said in countless videos? Dorian Johnson needs to be subjected to a series of lie detector tests. The truth has to come out. The CIA should take Dorian Johnson and waterboard him if necessary, so he tells the truth about what happened. That would stop these maniacs from rioting and chanting idiotic things like, "What do we want? We want dead cops. When do we want that? We want that now." It all goes back to Dorian Johnson. It all goes back to the Attorney General Eric H. Holder, who traveled to Ferguson, Missouri to meet with Michael Brown's parents. He never even lived with them. You know, I did a video, I guess a day or two ago, and it talked about some of the rap music that Brown put together. One of them, and I made mention of this, is where he says, "My mama hates me." All they're trying to do is profit on his death. They want to be able to prove that what took place was done against Michael Brown's civil rights. They want to prove that Officer Darren Wilson had it in for blacks, so they can sue the state of Missouri for millions of dollars. That's why their lawyer's hanging on. Who's paying for his services? Is he doing it pro bono or on a contingency basis, expecting to cash in when a settlement is determined based on the information that the Attorney General, Eric H. Holder Jr., and those 40 FBI agents that have been running around trying to dig up some information so they can persecute and prosecute Darren Wilson, no longer an officer? Where should those 40 agents be? They should be in Mississippi, looking for the heinous murder that was committed on a 19-year-old young girl. Like I said, freedom of speech is important, but to allow people to scream in unison, "What do we want? We want dead cops." How do you think the police in New York feel? How do you think their families feel? How do you think the kids feel when their daddy goes to work and puts his life on the line? When the mommy goes to work and puts her life on the line to protect these people that are screaming, "We want dead cops." How nuts is all of this? How insane is all this? And how many people do you think that are screaming that crap are on welfare, on EBT cards, on Section 8 housing? If they didn't do that, they'd be at work. But they don't have jobs. Why? Because of Barack Hussein Obama. You know that since Obama stole the Oval Office, the middle class and the blacks are suffering more than any other group? Who cares, huh? Who cares? Barack Hussein Obama, the Manchurian candidate put in place to destroy the American way of life. And he's doing a damn good job. I told you what I think. Let me know what you think.